Imagine a child who was never invited to a social gathering, a birthday party, or even a sleepover. Imagine that child was autistic. Imagine that child being me. Most of my primary life and childhood, I wasn't allowed to be a part of many things because many parents didn't really want me around. Just because I acted a little bit different, I sounded a little different, and all those lovely things. I'm autistic, which by the title of this TED Talk tells you that itself. And by that, I want to talk about stereotypes and how people constantly put me in a box that I shouldn't be a part of. Part of that box is including me not being able to constantly being told that I can't do VCE because I won't handle the stress. Constantly being told that I'm not worth it, and constantly being told I'm a part of a statistic. Well, hey, I call that rubbish. Being part of a statistic is not what everyone wants to be a part of. We are all individually unique, and that's the same with everyone who is autistic. And there are so many around the world who face similar things like I do. So speaking from the heart, when I was in prep, I didn't really think much of it at the time because I was in prep and I didn't understand emotions and social cues. A lot of people and parents didn't want me being around them. It made me feel so isolated coming to terms with it and making me personally feel like crap. But hey, I live and I learn. From this, I've put my head down and tried to focus through primary. That's a start. Then I got to John Paul, and kids weren't always the best, and that's life. I just put my head down and tried work hard to try and solve problems. And I devoted my life my school life to being a community activist. I devoted in promoting injustices and promoting how we can be better humans and not constantly judge others by the book. So that brings me to my main thing. How do we solve stereotypes? And that is my main question. How do we solve stereotypes? We need to look at each other. Think about it. Wondering why we judge one another and why do we constantly think something of someone you've never met before and you haven't even got to know them. Me personally constantly dealing with trauma, pain, suffering, of constantly feeling isolated because not many people wanted to be around me, leading me to constantly thinking, is that wrong? Is autism wrong? Something that I'm born with. But I use that to strive and make change. And I use that to prove people wrong who constantly put me down. Because people all my life have put me down constantly. And that's what I'm trying to urge today. Don't always judge someone just by the way they act, by the way they seem to be, because some people in this world are just different from us. Some people just want to change themselves and they struggle to do so very, very so much. How do we embrace changing stereotypes and how do we embrace changing our minds? And that's something I can't do by myself. That's something that everyone in this audience can take away. How do we not judge? And how do we constantly put ourselves down? The way I can think on how I can solve this problem is by doing this. Imagine it's your child who constantly gets put down constantly, for example, if they're being autistic. They're being constantly excluded, being told they can't do what they want to do in their lives. Think about that. And that's my main takeaway. And that is how we can slowly start changing this world and embrace autism and neurodivergent people. Thank you.